What is wrong with you? It's something I hear almost every time I meet someone new or a family member I haven't seen in a decade. So that is why I'm making this video. Because honestly, it's pretty tiring repeating it over and over again. So if I sent you this video, I want to tell you what I go through in a concise video, and there will be a frequently asked question portion at the end. So save your questions until then, please. Okay, so Ehlers-Danlos. This is the big overarching one for me. Ehlers-Danlos is a genetic connective tissue disorder. Wow, that's a mouthful. Anyway, since it's a connective tissue disorder and there's connective tissues literally everywhere in your body, as the name suggests, they connect everything. So it causes quite a few other disorders, and that's why my body is a mess, and you're like, what's wrong with you in the first place? So there are 13 types of Ehlers-Danlos. All but one can be found through a genetic panel. I have the hypermobility type of Ehlers-Danlos, which cannot be found in a genetic panel, but it is tested by your flexibility. So I'm very flexible. And it is also tested through your physical characteristics using a scale called the Beaton score, and it is scored from 0 to 9. Ehlers-Danlos causes me to have frequent dislocations due to the hypermobility and subluxations, which are just partial dislocations. This is why you will see me wearing braces and weird joint tape occasionally. I manage my symptoms with physical therapy and occupational therapy. I work on gaining muscles to hold my joints in place instead of the connective tissues. This means I can't slack on my exercise because I do not have connective tissues to fall back on like the regular person. But I do slack on the exercise anyway, so that is why I still dislocate. I mean, I would probably still dislocate without with the exercise, but not as much. I need to exercise more. Anyway, not the point. Ehlers-Danlos won't affect my overall lifespan unless I dislocate my neck or something, so yeah. Or I have the odds of getting like a valve prolapse in my heart because of the connective tissues are weak in my heart as well. But it would be rare for that to happen with my type of Ehlers-Danlos because it usually happens with the cardiovascular one, and I have the hypermobility one. I do get an ultrasound of my heart every 3 years just in case to monitor it. But that's, again, not common, so you don't need to worry there. The next condition. Hope you like that noise. Gastroparesis. Gastroparesis is what affects me the most in my life, and it also embarrasses me the most. Gastroparesis, split apart, means stomach paralysis. And that's exactly what it is. My stomach is partially paralyzed, the food sits there and takes much longer to get digested, and sometimes it even goes bad in my food. Goes bad in my stomach because it sat there so long. So, yeah, not everyone with gastroparesis vomits, but I am one of the people that vomit frequently. I vomit 1 to 5 times on a good day and lose count on a bad day. My gastroparesis is currently not under control, and I see a gastroenterologist. So please, no unsolicited medical advice because I probably already heard it, and it will probably just upset me because I would really like to get better. And I'm trying, but, yeah, it's not going well. You may think I eat very little if you go out to eat with me or something, but I actually eat 6 small meals instead of 3 big ones. So it adjusts to, the same amount as you. I just can't eat it all at once because it will set too heavy in my stomach and I will get sick. My weight fluctuates dramatically and frequently as it adjusts to medications. I've been overweight and underweight and still was unhealthy at both stages. I'm usually underweight, and if I am while you're watching this, please, I pray to whatever deity you believe in, don't say, I wish I had your condition. so I could look like you or lose weight without trying. I have heard that way too many times. It is not a compliment, even if you think it is. This condition makes my life flipping hell. It leaves me malnourished and on the verge of tube feeding. It is not good. Do not wish for it. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. This condition is rare, but more common with Ehlers-Danlos because it's caused by nerve damage, and I have it due to the connective tissues not working in my stomach, aka the nerve damage there. But most people who have gastroparesis, it's due to diabetes, so you actually might know someone else with it because it may be rare, but it's less rare than Ehlers-Danlos. And another drum roll for my next condition to make it sound less sad. I have postural orthostatic tachycardia, which is a very big mouthful, and that's why it's also known as POTS. And people often think I'm talking about weed when I say POTS, but no, it's just the acronym. In very basic terms, I faint. This is why I have a service dog. Though not everyone with POTS faints. Their heart rate jumps up by like 30 beats per minute or higher during sudden movements like getting out of bed or standing up from a chair. POTS is not a heart condition, even though it sounds like it. It is a nervous system condition caused by an overactive vagus nerve. POTS causes the blood to pool in your lower extremities, so your heart beats faster to get the blood back up to your brain. And if it can't do that fast enough, your brain panics and does the only thing it knows how to get the blood back in the fastest way possible. It makes you flat. So you faint on the floor so the blood gets back to your brain, and then you wake up because the blood's back to your brain. So the main treatment for POTS is compression socks to keep the blood from pooling, lots of water to make your blood less thick. I don't really understand it. That's like how my cardiologist worded it. Lots of red blood cells so your blood's thick so it's not flowing as well. I don't know. And lots of salt to hold on to the water so you don't just pee it out. There are medications you can take, though I'm not a good candidate because you need to be well hydrated for the medication to work. But with gastroparesis, it makes staying hydrated nearly impossible due to all the vomiting. The medication basically helps you hold on to the water better and controls your heart rate. But again, I can't take it. So that's why I faint a lot more and have a service dog. So if I faint in public and there's no one there to help me, I have my service dog. More people are starting to get POTS from the long-term effects of COVID, so it is becoming very common in society, so hopefully there will become more treatment options / better treatment options, so I hope. Next is mast cell activation syndrome, other known as MCAS, which is just the acronym. MCAS. Mast cell activation causes the person to have more histamines, causing them to have allergic reactions to things they aren't actually allergic to, which sounds very complicated, and it is. Try explaining this at the ER when you go in for anaphylactic shock, and they're like, "What are you allergic to?" I don't know, I'm just going into anaphylactic shock, man. It's always a thing. You see, everyone has some histamines in their body. They usually protect you. It's what people use when they have seasonal allergies or protects them from peanut butter if they're allergic to that. The thing is, some people have too many histamines and they attack your body, kind of like an autoimmune disorder. So I have way too many, and they're looking for anything to escape my body, and anything can set it over the edge. This is why allergy scratch tests don't work on mast cell patients. It will show you're allergic to everything, when in reality, you are not. This is why I carry EpiPens on me at all times, because I could go into anaphylactic shock anytime, and I have. Taking antihistamines twice daily helps prevent this, which is technically over the recommended dosage, but it is okay because it's recommended by my immunologist because she prefers I don't die. I also take an antacid that is an antihistamine. So I take meds that help with other symptoms as well as they have double the benefits, is what I mean. And I also take a shot monthly to prevent hives because I am very prone to hives, which can be very itchy and hot and painful. Though mast cells react to emotions, like some normal people even get hives when they're anxious for like a school test. But me, I could be a little bit more deadly in that situation. So if I'm anxious over something stupid like a school test, I could go into anaphylactic shock. So I have to be very aware of my emotions. And that is why I've done a lot of therapy. So I find it helpful to step outside when I'm in anxiety-provoking situations and take a breather because I like to be alone. So yeah, mast cell, very complicated. Next, I have vocal cord dysfunction, and you're probably like, what does this girl not have? Yeah, it's a lot. My life is a lot. That's why I also go to a lot of doctors, because I have so many illnesses. So I'm not ever bailing on you because I want to. It's because I'm just overbooked with stupid doctors who are mean that I don't even want to see in the first place. Anyway, back to vocal cord dysfunction, other known as VCD. This one is pretty simple compared to others. I vomit a lot and have heartburn, so my vocal cords are a little bit burnt. I have a raspy-ish voice. I feel like my voice would be higher pitched if I didn't have this. And I can't talk for that long. I often lose my voice, especially in the morning, because laying down makes it worse. Sometimes my vocal cords have muscle spasms and make me wheeze and feel like I can't breathe, so I take an inhaler. It's almost like asthma, but instead of struggling to get air out, I struggle to get air in because my vocal cords are blocking my throat, sort of. So the inhaler is more like a muscle relaxer than it is air or steroids. There's no steroids in my inhaler. It's a muscle relaxer for my vocal cords so they don't freeze up and I can breathe. Anyone can get vocal cord dysfunction. Some people even get it from screaming too much from concerts. It can be fixed with vocal rest. I cannot rest my vocal cords because I vomit all the time, so there is no rest from the acid, so they will probably be like this forever. But this one I'm actually kind of like okay with. I've accepted it. But yeah, that's why I always have an inhaler on me and why I might need it sometimes. And why I lose my voice much more frequently than the average Joe. I don't know why I said average Joe. I never say that. So, you're welcome. And we're on to the next one. Chronic regional pain syndrome, also known as CRPS. Also known as suicide disease, because it is one of the most painful syndromes you can get, and I can attest to that. So, long story short, I had a misdiagnosis, a lot of doctors not knowing what Ehlers-Danlos is and its risk, and I honestly probably should have sued because they messed up my ankle so bad, but it's too late now. Anyway, now my ankle has permanent nerve damage and is extra sensitive to touch and temperature. The tendon from my big toe to my heel gets so tight my foot claws and I can't move it. So I relieve the pain by rolling it on a tennis ball. I unfortunately can't stop in the middle of a long walk to do this, so I use a cane sometimes. I do not need a cane all the time because it's not always that bad. I thought, and so did my physical therapist for a while, that I would never walk again. But with a ton of physical therapy and water therapy, I relearned how to walk. But it can flare up from time to time, thus me needing a cane, and also thus why my foot feels like a living ice cube, and sometimes looks purple like a corpse foot, but it is much better than it was before. It's still not great, but at least I can walk some, and I couldn't walk at all before, so now I can. So it's not all bad. That was a weird drum roll, but we're on to the last but not least, autism. I was diagnosed with autism at age 19. I showed many signs as a youngling, but teacher said I was too smart, and it was a pleasure to have me in class. I could speak more in class, though. So, yeah, pretty much what every diagnosed autistic female hears as growing up. So, yeah, I'm basic that way, I guess. I was in special education until middle school for dyslexia, my reading and my writing skills, which I felt like maybe should have tipped them off, but it did not. Anyway, my autism makes me have poor volume control, so I either talk too loud or too quiet, so just let me know, and let me know in a nice way, though, because I'll feel bad about it. So you gotta, let me know in a nice but teasing way, you know? Just don't make me feel bad, because I will cry. I have no filter, so I may say something rude and not know what I just said was rude. Some people like this about me. They love my honesty and my bluntness. There we go. Other people think I do it on purpose and act dumb or innocent. I assure you that's not it, but if you feel that way, we probably wouldn't get along anyway. So, yeah. I fidget a lot, which might be annoying to those around me, but it helps me remain focused so I can do what I need to do and not, rip my nails off. So I have a lot of fidget toys, so I feel like that's a plus that I come with a bunch of fidget toys. You need a fidget toy? Boom. Sharing. Loud noises in crowds are no go for me. I will shut down and become very quiet and stuck in my head. This may seem rude, like I'm ignoring you, but it's a defense mechanism, so I do not lash out at those around me or hurt myself. So I'm not trying to be rude, it's just protecting myself and you. Because I have been known to be mean because I'm overwhelmed, and yeah, I try to work on it. I like quiet places best, like bookstores or small coffee shops, so if you want to hang out, those are the places. I also like movies. I don't really like eating out for obviously reasons, though, because of the gastroparesis. So we should just hang out at a bookstore and get coffee. That's my dream hangout. There are upsides to my autism. I can tell you the history of animation and how it works. I can also become wildly obsessed with a new topic and teach you all about it. So I do like the pluses, and they make me me. So I wouldn't be me without my autism. Due to my late diagnosis, though, I never really knew why I was so different, and children don't like different things or deal well with different things. So yeah, I was bullied a lot and used a lot because I thought people were my friends, and they weren't my friends. They just wanted stuff from me. So yeah, I have PTSD too. It will take me a while to fully trust someone, and I tend to push people away to isolate myself. I'm getting better at recognizing this is an unhealthy way of dealing with things, and I try not to do it anymore. So, yeah. Those are the conditions that I have. So now you know a little bit more about me, and I didn't have to say this all in person. So I didn't have to repeat all my conditions for the 50th time. Probably way more than that, to be honest. So now that we got to the basics of my conditions, let's get to the frequently asked questions. Will collagen pills help your Ehlers-Danlos? No, because collagen pills don't work that way. They are basically just protein. They are a supplement not approved by the FDA, because supplements are never approved by the FDA. Even if they did work that way, I have collagen already in my connective tissues. It is just faulty, so I can't replace it anyway. Have you tried yoga? Yes, it goes badly because yoga is about stretching, and I always overstretch and dislocate something. It is not fun. Have you tried weed for your vomiting and for your nausea? No, and I don't plan to because I'm already on a lot of medications and I do not know how it would interact. Also, I am very cautious because the addiction gene runs in my family. My cousin's dog sister's brother-in-law has this and blank cured him. Have you tried blank? My condition has no cure, so if your cousin's dog sitter's brother-in-law found the cure, you better go alert the media. I hear stuff like that all the time. You know they didn't find the cure. There is no cure. I wish there was a cure. Anyway, that leads us to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you understand me a little bit better now. Honestly, this video probably explains my conditions better than I would in person anyway, because I would have forgotten something without this video. And who am I kidding? I probably still forgot stuff in this video. If you are new here, consider subscribing for art and relatability. I'll see you around. And remember, everyone, stay weird.